Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us.
It's great to be here.
Today we're shifting gears a bit and heading into the world of Italian motorcycles.
Specifically Ducati,
Yeah, Ducati.
and even more specifically than that, we're going deep on the Ducati 848 Evo.
Oh yeah, this is a bike that I've heard a lot about.
Definitely one that gets people talking.
We've got a fantastic article here from Biker Moto Writer, published February 23rd, 2025, and it's got all the juicy details.
All the good stuff.
So let's jump right in. What makes this bike so special? What sets it apart from the rest?
Well, it's really aimed at the rider who wants kind of that perfect balance of speed and precision.
Okay.
Someone who wants to tear up the track, but then also be able to comfortably cruise through the canyons.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough balance to strike.
It is, but Ducati seems to have nailed it with this one.
So tell me what's under the hood. What gives it that power and precision?
At the heart of it all, you've got a 140 horsepower Testastretta 11-degree engine.
Okay, now I'm no engineer, so break that down for me.
So basically, this engine is designed for exhilarating acceleration, but it's not just about raw power.
Okay.
It's about how that power is delivered.
Smoothly, I hope.
Very smoothly. That's the beauty of the Testastretta 11-degree engine.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The design of the engine, including things like the valve, timing, the firing order, it all comes together to create a really controlled and enjoyable ride.
So you're not just going to be holding on for dear life.
No, you're going to be in control and you're going to feel connected to the bike in a way that's really special.
All right, that's what we like to hear, but let's be honest, looks matter too, right? I mean, how does this thing look?
Oh, this bike is an Ed Turner, for sure.
I bet.
It's got those sharp, aggressive lines that Ducati's known for.
And the color.
And, of course, that iconic Ducati red paint job.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
It's a statement piece on two wheels, for sure.
It's got to feel good to ride, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Biker Moto Rider article talks about the riding position as being comfortable yet sporty, which means you can ride for hours without feeling cramped. And the handlebars and foot pegs are positioned perfectly for control, so you feel like you're really in command.
Like your one-woman machine.
Exactly.
So we've got the looks, we've got the power. What else makes this Evo stand out?
Well, Ducati has packed this bike with some pretty impressive technology.
Oh, I love tech.
I knew you would. For starters, it's got multiple riding modes.
Okay, like what?
You've got wet sport and race.
Interesting.
So you can adjust the bike's response to match the conditions and your riding style.
So if it's raining, I can switch it over to wet mode and feel a little more confident.
Exactly. It'll adjust things like the throttle response and the traction control to give you more stability in those slippery conditions.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah, Ducati's really upped their game on the tech front.
And what about the display? Is it just like a basic speedometer or what?
No, they've gone all out here.
Oh,
You've got a
well.
high-resolution LCD display that gives you all the essential information.
Okay.
Speed, RPM, gear position, fuel level, it's all there.
Wow, so it's like having a little mini computer on your handlebars.
Pretty much. But it's not all about fancy gadgets.
Right.
They've also included key safety features.
Good, because I like to go fast, but I also like to be safe.
That's the right attitude. You've got traction control, ride-by-wire throttle, and even ABS.
Wait, ABS on a motorcycle?
Yep, it's becoming more and more common these days.
Huh, how does that even work?
So, just like in a car, ABS helps prevent the wheels from locking up during hard braking,
Oh, okay.
which can be a lifesaver, especially in emergency situations.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It gives you that extra control and stability when you need it most.
Well, it sounds like they've thought of everything.
They really have. But, we've talked about power, foul, safety.
Uh-huh.
What about handling? How does this thing handle in the corners? One word.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I like that word.
Yeah, the 848 Ego features a lightweight trellis frame.
Okay, now what is a trellis frame?
Think of it as the skeleton of the bike. It's made from these lightweight steel tubes that are welded together in a really distinctive triangular pattern.
Mm-hmm.
This design gives the bike exceptional strength and rigidity.
So it can handle whatever you throw at it.
Exactly. And because it's so lightweight, it's incredibly responsive to your inputs.
So it's going to feel agile and quick in the corners.
You got it.
I'm starting to get a little jealous of whoever gets to ride this thing.
I know, right? And it gets even better. They've also included a fully adjustable Showa suspension.
Oh, now we're talking. That's got to make a huge difference.
It does. You can fine-tune the suspension to your liking and to the road conditions.
Okay.
Whether you're on the track or cruising down a back road, you have complete control.
Wow, they really spared no expense.
Not on this bike.
And what about those Brembo brakes? I've heard those are pretty legendary.
Oh yeah, Brembo brakes are top of the line.
Okay.
Renowned for their stopping power and precision. They give you the confidence to push the bike knowing that you can bring it to a halt quickly and safely.
Safety first, right? So we've got this powerful engine, sleek design, advanced tech, top-notch handling. Is there anything this bike doesn't have?
Well, it does have one thing working against it, and that's some pretty stiff competition.
Oh, yeah. I guess you can't talk about sport bikes without mentioning the competition.
Exactly. The 848 Evo is going head-to-head with some serious contenders.
Like who?
like the Yamaha YZF-R6 and the Suzuki GSX R750.
Oh, yeah, those are both really popular bikes.
And for good reason, they're both fantastic machines, but the Ducati brings something unique to the table.
Okay, I'm curious, how does it stack up against these rivals?
Well, we're going to have to dive into that after a quick break.
Sounds good. We'll be back in a flash with more on the Ducati 848 Evo. All right, we're back and ready to dive deeper into that Testastretta 11-degree engine.
Yeah, it's really the heart and soul of this bike.
We've already talked about the horsepower and the smooth power delivery, but what exactly makes it so special? I mean, what's going on inside there?
Well, the name itself actually gives you a clue.
Okay.
Testastretta means narrow head in Italian,
Ah,
and it refers to the compact design of the cylinder heads.
so they basically just squeezed a lot of power into a small space.
Yeah, pretty much. And that compact design, it allows for better airflow and combustion, which helps make the engine more efficient and responsive.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then the 11 degrees, that refers to the angle of the valves, which is optimized for performance at both low and high RPMs.
Oh, so it's not just about top-end speed.
No, not at all, this engine. It gives you strong power across the entire rev range.
So you can really feel that pull no matter what speed you're at.
Exactly. Whether you're cruising through the city or hitting the track, this engine has got you covered.
The article in Biker Motor Rider also mentions something about the sound of the engine.
Oh yeah, the sound is intoxicating.
So is it like a loud rumble or more of a high-pitched whine?
It's been described as a deep, throaty roar,
Oh, wow.
almost like a symphony of mechanical music.
Okay, now I really want to hear it.
You'll have to check out some videos online. The sound alone is enough to get your heart racing.
I bet. All right, so we've covered the engine in detail, but how does all that power translate to the actual riding experience?
Well, imagine this. You're leaning into a tight corner on your favorite mountain road.
Okay, I'm there.
You feel the wind in your face, the 848 Evo's lightweight frame, and that responsive throttle. They give you the confidence to push harder.
Uh-huh.
And the advanced traction control, it keeps you grounded even when you're really pushing the limits.
So you can focus on the ride and not worry about losing control.
Exactly. That's what this bike is all about. It's about giving you the confidence to push your limits and experience the thrill of riding at its finest.
I like it. And speaking of control, we talked about the high-resolution LCD display earlier. What kind of information does that provide to the rider?
Think of it like your co-pilot, giving you all the essential data you need at a glance.
Okay.
Speed, RPM, gear position, fuel level, it's all displayed clearly and intuitively.
So it's not just a fancy gimmick, it's actually useful.
Absolutely. It's about putting you in control and enhancing the whole riding experience.
And speaking of control, let's talk about the Ducati quickshifter.
Ah, yes. This is where things get really interesting.
I've heard about this, but I don't really understand how it works.
Okay, imagine this. You're accelerating hard on the track. You want to shift gears quickly, but you don't want to lose any momentum.
Right.
The quick shifter lets you do just that. It allows you to upshift without using the clutch.
Oh, wow.
So you can maintain that smooth acceleration and seamless transitions between gears.
So it's kind of like having a paddle shifter on a race car.
Exactly. It's super responsive, and it really enhances that feeling of being connected to the machine.
Okay, color me impressed, but let's face it, all this technology, all these fancy features, they're useless if the bike doesn't handle well.
True, but that's definitely not an issue with the 848 Evo.
Oh, I bet.
Ducati has put a lot of effort into the chassis and suspension to make sure this bike handles like a dream.
The article mentioned something about a trellis frame. What exactly is that, and how does it affect the handling?
Think of it as the backbone of the bike. It's made from these lightweight steel tubes that are welded together in a distinctive triangular pattern.
Interesting.
And this design provides exceptional strength and rigidity, which makes the bike incredibly responsive to your inputs.
So it's strong but not bulky.
Exactly. That's what makes the trellis frame so special. It allows for a bike that's both lightweight and agile.
Which is essential for sporty riding.
You got it.
And what about the suspension? We talked about that briefly before.
The 848 Evo has a fully adjustable Showa suspension, both front and rear.
Okay, and that means...
That means you can fine-tune the suspension to your liking and to the specific road conditions.
So if I'm hitting the track, I can stiffen it up for better performance.
Absolutely. And if you're going for a more comfortable ride, you can soften it up.
That's pretty cool. It's like having a custom-tailored suspension just for you.
It's all about giving you, the rider, the flexibility to personalize the bike to your needs.
All right, so the 848 Evo sounds pretty amazing on paper, but I'm sure some of our listeners are wondering, how does it actually perform in the real world? How does it stack up against its rivals on the track?
That's a great question, and to answer that, we need to look at some key performance metrics and compare the 848 Evo to its closest competitors.
Okay, so it's time for a head-to-head showdown. Let's break it down. Okay, so let's break down this head-to-head competition and see how the 848 Evo stacks up against some of the best sport bikes out there.
Sounds good. Let's start with the Yamaha YZF-R6. This bike's got a serious reputation as a track weapon, so how does the Ducati compare?
Yeah, the R6 is no joke.
It's not, but in terms of pure acceleration, the Ducati takes the win.
Really?
Yep, the 848 Evo goes from 0 to 60 in a blistering 3.2 seconds.
Wow, that is fast.
The R6 comes in a little bit behind at about 3.5 seconds.
So a noticeable difference.
It definitely feel it on the track.
Okay, so the Ducati's quicker off the line, but what about handling? The R6 is known for being incredibly agile.
Yeah, it is. It's a nimble little beast, but the 848 Evo, it can definitely hold its own.
How so?
Well, with that lightweight trellis frame and the fully adjustable Shapewear suspension, the Ducati's incredibly responsive, and you can really carve through those corners with confidence.
So when it comes to handling, it's a close call.
I'd say so both bikes are really well balanced and fun to ride.
Okay, so what about braking? How do they compare in terms of stopping power?
Well, both bikes have top-notch braking systems, but the 848 Evo has a slight advantage with those Brembo brakes.
Yeah, those Brembo brakes are legendary.
They provide incredible stopping power, and you really feel connected to what the bike is doing.
Okay, so the Ducati's got the edge in braking as well.
It seems to be winning in a few key categories.
So far, so good for the Ducati, but what about the Suzuki GSX R750? This is another legendary sport bike. How does the 848 Evo compare to this one?
The GSX R750, a classic for a reason.
It is.
It's known for its balanced performance and its versatility. It's a great all-around sport bike.
So where does the Ducati fit in?
Well, the Ducati, it brings something a little bit different to the table.
Okay, like what?
It's not just about raw speed or those lap times.
Right.
It's about the feeling, the character, the passion that Ducati brings to its bikes.
Yeah, I'm sensing a theme here. It's not just about the numbers on a spec sheet. It's about the overall experience.
Exactly. And the Ducati 848 Evo, it really delivers on that front. It's a bike that connects with you on an emotional level.
It sounds like it.
The GSX R750 is a great bike, don't get me wrong, but it lacks that certain something that makes the Ducati so special.
That's Shinsequai.
Exactly.
So it really comes down to personal preference.
In the end, choosing a motorcycle is all about finding the bike that speaks to you, that makes you feel alive when you're riding it. And for a lot of riders out there, that bike is going to be the Ducati 848 Evo.
And you know what? I think that's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating. We're not just talking about specs and figures. We're talking about the emotions, the passion that these bikes evoke.
Absolutely. It's about the experience, the feeling, the connection between rider and machine.
Well said. All right, so we've covered the performance, the design, the technology, the competition, but let's be real here. This level of Italian excellence, it's got to come at a price.
It does. The 848 Evo is expected to start around $15,000.
Okay, so not exactly an impulse buy.
No, because for those who are serious about experiencing the thrill of riding a true Italian sport bike, the 848 Evo is an investment worth considering.
An investment in pure riding pleasure.
Exactly.
And with a release date planned for early 2025, it won't be long before you can get your hands on one.
I'm already counting down the days.
Me too. So there you have it, folks. The Ducati 848 Evo, a symphony of power, style, and technology.
A bike that's sure to turn heads and ignite your passion for riding.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the Ducati 848 Evo.
But the conversation doesn't have to stop here. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Head over to our social media and let us know what you think about the 848 Evo. Would you take it to the track or carve up some canyons?
Let's keep the conversation going.
Until next time, folks, keep the rubber side down and ride safe.
And keep that passion for motorcycles burning bright.